I get like goosebumps every time I talk about it because the truth of the matter is, this was not something that I had initiated, as a founder. The background is that, the company is founded by four white males. And early days, the company was predominantly white, because we were hiring people that we knew that were in our kind of networks. We post something on Facebook, and that's kind of the way these communities work, right? You get back what you are, right? And so over the years, as the company grew in size, we naturally brought in some diversity into the organization. And as the company continued to grow, those groups grew larger and larger to the point where they felt, frankly, more comfortable enough speaking out and saying, hey, we're now this group here. This is important to us. And I remember, we were at I was hosting a town hall for the company, and we have open Q&A at the end. And one person had submitted an anonymous question and said, "Hey, it's apparent that your board is also all white men, right? We have a private equity firm. So it's three on their side and me on my side." Um, from honestly, from a stance of white privilege, especially male white privilege, it had never occurred to me, right? I never looked at it that way. And it wasn't until that question really changed everything, where they said, will you actively commit to adding diversity to the board and to the executive team? We had female and we had some BIPOC diversity on the executive team and some LGBTQ plus IA, but not nearly, what it is today, and not nearly to the standards of what it should be that we are now benchmarking ourselves going forward. But it was that question that really like lifted the veil for me. And I realized at that moment, it was my responsibility as a founder and a CEO that I had to do the work to educate myself on the lived experiences of every type of person that was in my organization, whether it was female, whether it was Black, whether it was Latin American, whether it was Asian, whether, all gay, everything. And so I really committed for the next year to doing a tremendous amount of education and learning on all of these different classes, as well as a commitment to focusing on DEI in the office of the CEO. It lived with me. I didn't hand it off down to somebody else. I didn't say, "Oh, that's gonna live with HR," or "That's gonna, well, let's just hire a diversity, head." I thought it was really important for me to signal that this is important coming from the top down. But part of my commitment at that town hall, as I said, I will 100% in the next 12 months add, more diversity to the board. And so we engaged with a search firm, and I'm happy to say that as of 3 months ago, we added a Black man to our board named by the name of Alan Goldston. He's currently the president of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So not only just diversity, in terms of race, but also diversity in terms of experience. And what an incredible honor and privilege to have the person who heads up North America, arguably the largest nonprofit in the world. And he has a specific focus on homelessness here in the United States. So it was just kind of like this like perfect marriage. And I was just like, wow, like this is unbelievable that I get, that he would even consider, sitting on our board. But we're we're beyond thrilled, and again, so honored and so privileged.